Hi guys, this is a very different video for me. I was literally just stretching. I was doing my little yoga routine. I was planning on working out, but I just had this thought in the middle of stretching and everything that I was like, I need to share this right now. I was watching a video while I was stretching by this woman, I forget her name, but her channel name is the Divinely Aligned Channel. All of her messages just resonate so deeply with me. And I honestly don't remember what she said, okay? But it triggered this thought in me, which I stopped my stretching routine to share with you guys, okay? Because I don't want to forget it. And also part of me filming this video right now in this moment, I feel like the fact that last night I had a very trippy experience is also contributing to this. There were some special gummies involved and they were stronger than I thought. And I was getting a little bit paranoid at points. But the whole time I was just so focused on recentering and trusting in the safety of the universe, spirit, whatever, knowing that I'm protected. And it brought me this deep sense of peace and comfort. It was so beautiful. I was crying, okay? That's how powerful the message was. I just felt so held and safe by source, even though my world was literally spinning. That is how intense it was. The moment I had just now gave me a similar feeling to what I had last night, where I just feel so connected and in tune. And so let me stop rambling about it and tell you what the thought is. The gist of the message is to have the belief that source, God, whatever you refer to, love as, whatever you refer to infinity and the most high as, the belief that this thing has your best interest at heart. And that if you follow this thing, when I say that, I mean listening to your heart, listening to your gut, listening to intuitive nudges, not letting logic and the monkey brain control your life. Your dream life will manifest right in front of your eyes. And I feel on the surface, that sounds so cliche and it's said so much, oh, just believe that everything will work out and then it will. But I really feel it goes a lot deeper than that. And that's what I've been sitting with in the last 24 hours, honestly. Not to mention, I do feel it may have something to do with this Lionsgate portal. If you're spiritual and on this side of YouTube, I assume you've already heard of this. And I'm not even that deep into astrology, but this happened to me last year as well, where I found myself suddenly falling down these rabbit holes of astrology videos, even though I'm not that into it. And I fell into that rabbit hole just right before Lionsgate portal last year, and that happened to me this year again, where I'm not even that interested in it per se, or I'm not that deep into it yet, but it keeps coming up on my feed. The universe is you need to be aware of how powerful this moment is right now. And I feel that to the point where literally last year, literally last year, the first entry in this journal that I'm still using to this day, and I'm almost done. I only have this much left of it. Anyways, the first entry in this journal is the day after the Lionsgate portal, and the entry is all about the Lionsgate portal and how aligned and powerful things felt at that moment. And starting this new journal at that time was a symbol to me of stepping into the next version of myself. And I'm not gonna read this whole entry right now, but all I know is that this time last year was also a very synchronistic moment. And I had this belief that a year from now, things are gonna change for me. And TBH, I'm feeling that way. Again, the synchronicity is going crazy and things are shifting really fast in my reality in a lot of ways. I don't want to get into the personal details of it all. Maybe one day I will, but for now, I will just have you know that some things are changing in a really big, positive way. And that was kind of a sidetrack. Sorry, I just got distracted because the timing of all this is just so crazy to me. But the point being that a year ago, that seed was planted of this belief that a year from now, things are going to work out for me. And now a year later, literally a few days ago, things started shifting so dramatically. And that kind of trip that I had last night was such a metaphorical and also literal shift in terms of the way that I am now seeing things. The main point that I want to emphasize of this idea of following the divine will get you your dream life is also the notion that source is always working to confirm to you what it is that you already believe about yourself, about the world, whatever. Your core beliefs And mind you, a lot of core beliefs can tend to be limiting beliefs where we believe that we're not worthy, where we're doubting ourselves for some reason, not thinking we're worthy of love, whatever it is. Like, we all have these core wounds, and you don't need to have a traumatic childhood by any means to have these core wounds. Like, just being a planet on this earth, sorry, oh my God, I'm still high. Being a human on this earth alone is enough to, instill those beliefs within yourself, just given the 3D world we live in, just given the society we live in. Like, even if you had an incredible childhood, you're bound to come out with at least some lowercase t trauma, you know what I mean? In terms of like it having to be an active effort to know that you are worthy of love and of your dream life, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's very rare that people don't have those limiting beliefs to work through. And I know I have spent years at this point and still am working through those limiting beliefs of like, just accepting and knowing, okay, my dream life is on my way to me. And I feel like I've heard this so many times, repeated over and over again, of like, just let go, just let it happen, just surrender to source and watch your life transform in front of you. But it's never really clicked. The message is so clear to me at this point. Like, it is a lot more literal than I thought it was. And the message is, if source confirms whatever your beliefs are in any given moment, and it's always working to prove you right, then it only makes sense then that if you believe and reaffirm to yourself on a consistent basis that things are working out for you, that your dream life is just around the corner, that you are inherently worthy and deserving of everything you could ever imagine, your wildest dreams and beyond, if you then hold those beliefs so deeply within yourself, then it is inevitable that you will end up in those visualizations that began in your mind, because if it's true that source is working to confirm whatever your beliefs are, then like that's how it naturally would go, right? And it sounds woo-woo, I know, but like, if you just take a moment and think about it, like, you have been manifesting unknowingly your entire life, right? Like, whatever reality you currently find yourself in, the reason you are there is because you quite literally manifested it for yourself. Like, manifesting is not this like magic thing, or like, it is, but like, it's not magic in terms of the sense of like you snap and like, oh my God, new reality in front of me. Like, obviously not. It's not as simple as like writing something down and then suddenly you have it. So to any skeptics out there, I'm not trying to imply that it is, but it is the realest thing about this reality that we live in. The fact that we're constantly manifesting is the realest thing of this world. And I'll try to use like a very simple example to explain that. Like, if you, for example, have very low self-worth for whatever reason, then you're going to find yourself walking throughout your days with your head down, maybe not interacting with people, or if somebody does try to have a positive interaction with you, you might shut it down and assume that they're like trying to mock you or something like that. Like, if you have really low self-esteem, that's how you're going to behave in the world. And then obviously that's going to create those types of interactions where even if people do try to like reach out to you, you shut it down, and then you're creating this reality for yourself where you have all these walls up. And of course you're going to then just stay in this comfortable bubble, which is also likely not the life that you want to have long term, but you're going to stay in that as long as you remain believing that you're not worthy for whatever reason. And that applies for literally everything and everyone. Like, whatever you believe about yourself translates into the real world. Like, this idea of surrendering to source. And like, I am not a religious person, okay? I'm not trying to say like, let God guide the way. Like, those types of phrases have rubbed me the wrong way in the past because I have so many like negative connotations around the word God and religion. So that's why I use the word source. But in my spiritual journey, like, I've grown more comfortable with that idea of there is this higher divine being, which is to me defined as just love and light and safety and where we all come from, to me, that's what it is. And I do have this belief that the ultimate goal is for everybody to end up back home, back at that love and light in their own way, in whatever that means for you. Like, for you, that could mean a certain passion, starting a business. For you, that could mean finding your soulmate. Like, it could mean sharing messages online, recording videos, like whatever it is for you. I really believe that everybody does have that mission within themselves that only you can know. And the only way that you can know what that is for you is by tuning in with that feeling, by accessing source within yourself. And again, I feel like I'm talking in so many abstract terms, but I'm hoping that this is resonating Because, for example, for a really long time, I have felt called to do this, to literally just like set up a camera and record and say whatever comes out of my mouth and just share those things with people in hopes that there's some positive impact, right? But for years and years and years, I didn't allow myself to do that because, first of all, I thought it would be cringe. Any friends or family watching this who aren't spiritual and maybe don't agree with me and think that I'm insane, you know, the fear of judgment from them. Lots of things holding me back. The fear that people won't care and that they'll think it's cringe and embarrassing. And all of these things are the types of things that held me back for years of actually, you know, putting this type of thing out there. And I can even feel some resistance right now as I'm recording this video, to be honest. Like, those fears still exist within me, but ultimately I know that it makes my heart sing to do this, like to tune in with source and to share what I'm feeling in regards to that. And it's such like a warm, fuzzy feeling that I get when I do tune in with that. And that's how I know that it's an aligned thing for me, right? So for me, like, that's the feeling that I get, and I'm just like drawn towards doing this. In addition to other things, you know, like spending time with loved ones, taking care of my body, being present, like these things are all things that I can know for certain bring me to that place of warmth and safety and love. And I feel like it's all about finding what those things are for you. Like, there are people in my life who get those feelings from different things. There are people in my life who get those feelings from being an academic or from being a really, you know, networking person and like being super communicative and interactive with people. Everybody has a different thing that makes your heart sing, and that's why we're different, and that's beautiful. And you know what that thing is for you. That's the thing at the end of the day. And that's why I feel like a lot of this stuff comes out in such vague terms, is because at the end of the day, like, only you can know what the thing that makes your heart sing is. And I can't tell you what it is for you, because that requires you diving into your heart and being like, okay, what is that for me? And I feel like a good place to start with that is tuning in with your inner child and just ask yourself, like, what did you like doing as a kid? And, you know, doing those activities as an adult is a great way to tune in with that. And it's very revealing, you know, when you realize these are all the things I loved to do innately as myself before I was tainted by this world. Your inner child is the most authentic version of you before all of this programming was installed, you know? And so going back to that is a really powerful thing. All of the things that I'm now drawn to as an adult, when I'm honest with myself about what I'm drawn to, are also the things that I was always drawn to as a little girl, right? Like having empathy and compassion and non-judgment for people, having creative outlets, taking pictures of things, just being in awe of the beauty of the universe, dancing and singing and playing and having connections with people, like all of these beautiful things. When you really feel into what you loved to do as a little kid, you'll realize that nothing really changes. Not like that part of you that holds your truest desires doesn't ever really change. And that's what's so beautiful about it, is that you can trust that that is a solid point within yourself that you can always access, that is always there for you to access. All you have to do is to give yourself that space and that presence in order to do so. That could mean sitting down right now and journaling and writing out, what did I love to do as a little kid? Or writing out, what are my core values? Like, what do I know about myself that makes my heart sing? It could mean meditating on it and visualizing what would my ideal day be. Like, whatever that is for you right now, that's how you can get in tune with that part of yourself. And when I say it doesn't change, I don't mean that you don't change as a person as life goes on. Obviously, like, the means by which, you know, those innermost desires are expressed can change in terms of, like, maybe you're creative and that's what you want to do with this life, is you want to have a positive impact via art in some respect. Maybe it starts out as painting, maybe it turns into video editing, maybe it turns into photography, like whatever that is for you. Like, the expression can change, of course, but ultimately you know what it is that you want to express, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. And then going back to the original message of source confirms what it is you believe about yourself. That is also why it's so important to get in tune with that inner child and with that highest version of yourself and that most aligned version of yourself, because you have to know those things, and you have to be honest with those things and resonate and reintegrate those things about yourself and remove potential shame and barriers that you have around that. Like, for example, like I said, the idea that I was scared of recording videos because I thought it would be cringe and that people would make fun of me. Me working on that and like removing that belief, or not even necessarily removing it, but like realizing that it doesn't matter, choosing to not care, even if people do think this is cringe and disagree, realizing that it's more important to me that I'm expressing what I'm feeling from my heart, and that I trust that there's a reason I'm feeling it and want to express it, and going with that. Once you're able to do that, once you're able to access those innermost desires, it's then so much easier and so much more clear to then follow the guidance that source provides for you, right? Because now you're in this space where you are aligned with your innermost desires. Because you're aligned with that, like I said, source will confirm what it is you believe about yourself and what it is you believe about the world. So if you're able to write down on a piece of paper right now, like, what are my truest innermost desires? If you're able to identify those things, like, that is the first step. Because if source confirms what you believe about yourself, but again, the example from earlier, you feel like you don't have much self-worth and you're just kind of going with the status quo and doing what you feel like you should do, and basically living your life based off of other people's potential perceptions of you, or based off of certain notions you have of society and fears you have of, like, oh, I don't want to be a starving artist, for example. If you live your life based in those terms, then those beliefs you have about yourself of, I'm going to be a starving artist and, you know, I'm never going to find love, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, those things will shine through, because source will confirm those things to you. Source will show those things to you. You know, this world is a mirror, like, in a very literal sense. What you believe about yourself is then what presents to you in your reality, just in the same way that when you get in tune with your highest self, with your inner child, when you get in tune with those parts of yourself, you're then able to feel how real and authentic those parts of you are in comparison with, oh my God, I've been doing these things simply to please others. Like, once you begin diving into that journey of getting to know yourself and your truest desires and respecting those desires and not thinking that they're silly and not writing them off because it's based off of a feeling and not based off of logic, like ignoring those critical thoughts and just going with what your heart feels, that is the quickest way to access your dream reality. That is how you collapse time and you get closer to that dream life, is by surrendering to, I know this is what I want, and so let me do that thing, and let me stop making myself feel silly for the desires that I have. Once you tune in with that part of yourself, then source will begin reflecting that to you, right? It will begin mirroring to you that you now know what you want, you now know what you desire, and that you're not shameful about it. And that's when opportunities will present themselves, of maybe like you get an opportunity for a creative endeavor that you've been dreaming about for years. Maybe the person of your dreams shows up in your life. Like, that thing will only show up once you stop resisting the path that source has planned out for you, right? Like, the way I imagine it, like in a visualization, maybe I'll try to find a diagram or something to put on the screen, but like, this is the epiphany I had when I was, you know, on another planet last night, is that we are all these interconnected little dots, right? Like little souls. And every single dot in one way or another is connected to each other. Like, there's these constant ongoing connections, and every little dot or every little soul is finding their way through life, like meandering through all these other little dots, and, you know, going around some, maybe dodging some, maybe being really attracted to some, maybe being revolted by some, and we navigate our lives in that way, right? And if you're holding on to deep traumas and deep wounds, you're then going to find yourself being super attracted to the beings that, you know, mimic to you the traumas you already believe. For example, I'm not lovable. You're going to find yourself being attracted to people who affirm that feeling of not being lovable, people who don't make you feel safe. You're going to find yourself subconsciously attracted to people like that if you don't work through all of the heavy stuff that we carry around every day, right? And that's why it's so important to tune in with your inner child and your shadow and like all of these parts of yourself, because that's the only way you're able to then actually access, okay, what do I actually want though? Like, what do I actually want to be attracted to, right? And then you're able to work through those wounds and you're able to realize, oh my God, I am lovable. There's no reason I don't deserve the love of my dreams. And in this little diagram, to me, I'm like, well, then that just, when you remove the resistance, it makes it so much easier then for that soul to then completely magnetize to the other soul. And it's only when both entities are ready and have done that inner work that they can then find each other, because they've realized that there's no reason to continue resisting. Like, once you're honest with what you want and need and desire, and you believe, the most important part is believing that you deserve it, or I should say knowing that you deserve it, it's like time collapses, and then you're just automatically magnetized to that entity or to that thing. Like, this could be a person, it could be a career, it could be whatever, abundance in whatever form it's taking. Like, the way you get there the quickest is by just allowing your desires to be what they are, admitting to yourself that that's what you want and allowing it to be, and believing that you deserve that and that you're worthy of that for no other reason than you are a being within this interconnected, woven universe, right? Like, you are a part of this universe just as much as anybody else is, and for that reason you deserve everything. And it doesn't need to be more complicated than that, right? And it's when you can believe that and know that your dream life appears right in front of you. I feel like I have known all of this on an intellectual level for a while, but it's so different when it really hits, like, in your gut, like in your soul, in your being. It's like, it feels like I know this to be true now. Like, I know that in following those feelings of warmth and safety and love and what makes my heart sing, I keep coming back to that phrase because I just love it, and I feel like that's the best way to embody that feeling of how you know you're on an aligned path, is in any given moment to ask yourself, what would make my heart sing right now? And it could be to make myself a smoothie. It could be to take a walk outside. It's gorgeous today. It could be to call up a loved one. It could be to work on a project that you're passionate and excited about. Like, just imagine for a second if you allowed yourself to live that way every day of your life. And when you imagine that, can you then see how, of course, if you keep living your life that way, you're going to attain your desires so much quicker, because you're not resisting anymore what is true for you. You're not resisting what it is you truly want and desire. You're just being. And that's how you get to your dream life the quickest. Like, I truly have this belief now that the default for everyone is to get to their dream reality as quick as possible. That's the default, right? The only reason we don't make it there quickly a lot of the time is because we are so dead set on holding on to these things that are not serving us, whether that's people, whether it's a job, whether it's beliefs. A lot of the time I feel like it's beliefs of unworthiness or self-doubt, and I'm still working through these things too, don't get me wrong, but recording this video right now in a big way is me also working through that, like working through the fear of people are going to think I'm a crazy witch. Okay, people are going to just think I'm crazy, period, think I'm an idealist, think I'm silly and dumb for believing these things. I'll be honest, I'll be vulnerable. Like, that is my biggest fear in recording a video like this and in tuning in with the part of me that ultimately feels the truest is, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. That's how you know it's real too, okay? Emotion, don't ignore that shit. Don't bottle it up. Listen to it, it's telling you something. And right now, the fact that I'm crying about this is telling me that, like, I know I feel best when I'm in tune with this, right? Like, this knowing in truth that everything ultimately is rooting for you to have the life of your dreams, is rooting for you to live in joy and happiness and abundance. And the universe doesn't have biases, right? Like, it wants that for everybody. And that feels so true right now. And I'm choosing to not care what anybody watching is thinking. I'm choosing to, even if they think I'm silly, I'm choosing to understand that it's more important to me that I get an authentic message out, because it's more likely that in being true and honest with myself and with you guys, that is what will create the most value for myself and for anybody watching, is to just be honest and to just let it out, right? It feels really true that in just allowing and surrendering to what feels good, that's going to get you to where you want to be a lot quicker. That's not to say there aren't hurdles, and that's not to say it's not a hard journey, but it is to say that it will be worth it if you follow that part of yourself. And I can't, you know, you have to believe that for yourself. That's the thing. Like, I can say that, but I know there's a lot of people watching who probably are like, yeah, for you, or yeah, for these people who it worked out for, like, sure, but not for me, it won't work out. Okay, why? Why is it that you believe if you go all in with what your heart is calling you to do, why is it that you believe that it's not going to work out for you? Look into that. You know what I mean? So anyways, this video is a lot longer than I thought, and I felt like I just like went into a trance for a second, and in a good way though. Like, it feels really good. Yeah, like today, or like last night when I was taking a shower and I was like meditating, I chose to start practicing this concept of surrender, like this experiment of surrendering to the universe and seeing what will happen. And what I mean by surrendering is just going towards the things that feel good. And I think it requires a lot of self-awareness as well, of like being able to realize, okay, when are you triggered? When are core wounds coming up? Being able to notice the difference between, you know, I want to sit down and enjoy this chocolate bar right now because I feel like that's what my soul wants right now, versus I want to sit down and eat the chocolate bar right now to fill a void and to forget about what I'm thinking about. You know, that's like a silly example. But I think that this experiment of surrendering requires that moment-to-moment awareness of like the next action that I'm about to take, what is it coming from? And if it's coming from a place of this just feels good to do right now authentically, and it doesn't feel like I'm doing this thing to push something away or to ignore something, I think that's how you know that it is an aligned step for you. And so that's what I'm going to be practicing in the next while, for forever. Who knows? I might do a little experiment where I just sit down and record videos like this for 30 days or something like that, and I just see what comes out. Because like I said, it feels good. And I think it would be cool to see what happens. Yeah, it just feels good to admit to yourself what feels good and to then follow that. And again, it's so hard to like give you the exact visualization I'm having in my head, but like to me, that visualization is what makes it all so clear to me logically, like not only emotionally, but like it just logically makes sense to me that like if you imagine yourself as this little orb, this little being that is interconnected with everybody, right? Like I see those connections as like literal lines, right? Like these silver strings that connect every orb within the universe, right? So imagine that, and imagine that you're this little glowing orb connected to everything and everyone, and you have a desire within you innately, right? Like it's an inherent part of you, like it is you, like that inherent desire of whatever it is for you, whatever makes your heart sing, like that is you, it's innate, right? And that is naturally your guiding force. But then in living in this 3D world, you get tainted by all of these programs and the people around you and expectations and pressure and like, oh my God, I have to be this way for people to like me and to have a good life and whatever. No, you don't. All of that is not true. And the truth of the matter is that navigating throughout this world, if you keep those walls up, right? You're an orb, okay? You're an orb. If you keep these walls up, visualize this, you're creating this like bubble around yourself that's like rejecting the things that truly feel like your innermost desire, and you're warding off things that are naturally trying to come to you, right? Whereas if you then work through those traumas, release them, work on your core beliefs, realize and understand and accept and love your truest desires, then it's like these things that were already trying to find you anyways are then allowed to find you, right? Like you're now allowing it, and it's just going to come to you so much more easily. And I know it because a lot of the time it's more literal than you would think. Like, for example, a few years ago, I quit my corporate job. I went to university, and then I pretty soon after getting out of uni, started working in insurance. Girl, that is not for me, okay? I have always been a creative, very emotional, very esoteric, very spiritual person, working a corporate 9-to-5 in insurance, right? Was not ethically aligned with me, was not emotionally aligned with me. It was purely a means to an end. So I did that for 8 months. And the whole time I knew it wasn't for me. It wasn't doing anything great for myself or others. That's the thing too, was like at the time I was like, is this a selfish decision? But then I realized as I thought more into it, like, no, me staying in a job, just trying to get money and taking up this position while not even doing my best and knowing that I hate it, that's more selfish to me than what I ultimately did, which was quitting the job to allow somebody else to fill the space who maybe loves insurance for some reason, right? But yeah, like the least selfish thing I could do, I realized, was to follow my heart, because I truly believe that that is how everybody is able to be of the most service to others, is by following their heart and what they are naturally good at, right? Like to me, it just makes sense, because what you naturally love and what you're naturally good at, like doing that thing is going to be more helpful for others than convincing yourself you like something that you don't like, because then you're just, you're just like stirring the spaghetti. You're just doing the monotonous tasks day by day. You're not pouring any of your own soul and love and energy into the thing you're doing. And I feel like that's what makes a good thing. Like when artists create music and art that they pour their soul into, that's why it touches so many souls and changes lives, is because they poured that into it, right? In the same way, that could be, maybe you have a love for building furniture. Maybe you're a carpenter and you love building furniture for people. You just love seeing the joy it brings them. Then listen to that, and just allow yourself to do that thing that is a unique desire that you have that not everybody else has. And it's important to listen to that, because in allowing yourself to do that, you're going to, first of all, excel at it, because it's naturally going to be the thing that, like I said, you're naturally good at, you're naturally drawn to. And second of all, wouldn't you rather buy from a carpenter who loves what they're doing and they're pouring everything into it, versus a carpenter who's doing it because their boss told them to? You know what I mean? Like that's how I try to illustrate to myself, like, that the reminder that following your heart is not a selfish thing. Following your heart is the most selfless thing you can do. It just makes sense. Okay. I feel like I could go on talking forever, but I've been recording for 40 minutes. And so I feel like I should stop, because I need to finish my stretching routine. Okay. And I also want to upload this video, but, holy shit, man. Like, it feels really real right now. It feels really good allowing myself to tune in with this. And I want you to do the same. Like, just try it, right? Even if you're still skeptical, just try and see what happens. That's a whole other topic, so I won't get into it. I was going to say, like, it's really easy also to convince yourself that you're trying, but then you're not actually trying. Because I know I've done that. Like, I've created a lot of content on YouTube that doesn't feel aligned, but I've done it because I'm like, I want the success on YouTube, and that is not an authentic motivator. Creating content like that doesn't really seem to do it for me or the algorithm. Whereas when I create content that is spontaneous and from the heart and this, like what I want to share, it seems to do a lot better. And I think that's because when I allow myself to channel these messages, whatever, that is when I'm in a state of serving the highest good, right? It's, the intention of recording this video is not to have a mass following. Sure, if that happens, I'd be sick. But the intention of this video is for the sake of, I feel this so deeply, I want to share it. I hope that in sharing it, whoever is watching can release some barriers or doubts that they have surrounding their own desires, and to authentically allow yourself to do what you want to do without cringing, without shaming. Like, just let yourself do the thing. That's what I mean by, it's easy to convince yourself that you are trying your best at something when you're really not, because, for example, there have been plenty of videos I've posted on YouTube where I've edited for hours and hours and hours. And so I'm like, my human brain is like, you've edited for hours and hours and hours. You're pouring so much into this. Why is it not working? And then I start getting frustrated. And so I convince myself that I'm trying the hardest I absolutely can. But this is the kicker, is that I really feel like true aligned action often does not feel that hard. And it does not feel like, oh my God, I've worked so long and so hard on this. Why is it not working? Like, true aligned action I think feels actually effortless, and truly trying your best, what it actually means is letting go of any shame, any cringe, any fear of failure, any self-doubt. Like, just letting yourself be is the simplest way I can put it. I think that is true aligned action. And again, the world is a mirror. So when you find yourself in those states of being able to have that true aligned action, the world will reflect to you the utmost abundance, because again, you're not resisting what is already trying to make its way to you. I hope this helps to illustrate that, like, this notion of like everything good is always on its way to you. Like, that's not just a cheesy, silly thing that people say. Like, it is true. It is true. Like, it just is. I don't know how else to explain that. And you're actively warding those things off right now by not believing in yourself. It all sounds so cheesy, but it's the truest thing. I feel like I'm on a cloud right now just recording this video, okay? That is how you will feel when you let yourself do what you want to do. If you want to be a musician, start writing down some lyrics right now. Start a little jam, you know? If you want to be a YouTuber, stop watching this video, record a video, talk about what you feel like talking about. If you want to be an artist, start working on that project. Like, it's very literal in a lot of ways. It's really just about letting go of those fears and doubts and negative self-beliefs. Yeah. So, I've now been recording for 45 minutes. Oh my gosh. We'll see if I may just post this whole thing as a raw clip. We'll see. But that's a long time, so maybe not. Anyway, you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me on this channel in the next few days, in the next few months. I want to try remaining true to that part of me, like the truest part of me, and see what happens. And let's do it together. Let's do it together. Okay? I would love more than anything to know that somebody watched this video, and as a result of watching this video, then went and wrote that song that then, you know, started their career as a musician. Like, that would bring me the most joy that anything ever could. To know that just one person watching this video actually takes action on what I'm saying right now, and that instead of you clicking off this video and watching another inspiring video and maybe feeling good and watching these videos, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, for me to get to this point of feeling aligned, like, I've watched a lot of content that has helped to encourage me and give me the courage to now record my own video. So there's nothing wrong with consuming this content, but like, just imagine if you actually let go after watching this video, if you actually just allow yourself to do the thing. You know? Yeah, so let's do it together. Seriously, I'm gonna be recording videos and posting them because it feels good. And I want you to do whatever feels good to you. I want you to, and it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to know what the thing is, you know? Like, right now, it could mean I feel like cooking myself a healthy, nourishing meal. It could be I feel like going to the steam room. Listen to that and then do that. Like, don't ignore those nudges, okay? Like, that is source talking to you when you get a random idea that pops into your head of like, oh, I kind of feel like doing this. Maybe I should. No, I shouldn't. I don't have time. Let's ignore the second thought. Let's go with the first one, okay? Just do the thing and don't let your brain put those constraints on you of, oh, but you don't have time. No, I'm sorry. Time, social construct. Yeah. Anyway, I think I've gotten the message across. I just really am enjoying sitting in this energy, so I like don't want to stop recording. But like, my heart feels so full and I'm like giddy. Like, I'm excited to keep on doing this and sharing with you guys. And more than that, I'm so excited to imagine that anybody watching this may actually take one different action today that then totally changes the trajectory of your life potentially. Like, that is all it takes. It really, truly, in moment to moment, every little decision you make alters how quickly or not quickly you're gonna get to your desire. And so listen to that, you know, in this moment, you've got a few options of what to do. Are you gonna keep sitting here and watching YouTube? Are you gonna take out your journal and actually journal what I talked about? Write down your desires and your values and what makes you feel good. Or are you gonna keep watching this video? You know, like, are you gonna let yourself do that thing, or are you going to keep consuming content? Those are two different realities right there, you know? So it's up to you. That's all I'll say. It's up to you. And okay, I really shall go now because I want to finish stretching. Anyways, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for staying with me until the end if you did. If you did stay until the end, comment below a unicorn emoji or a butterfly emoji. Yeah, or write down a little affirmation below that makes you feel excited about everything that I just talked about in this video. Write down something that feels to you like you are claiming surrendering to your dream life, whatever that is for you. Yeah, if you want to, leave a comment down below. While you're at it, if you found this video sparked anything in you, anything positive, I would love it if you liked the video. And if you feel called to join the community and participate in this surrender experiment, and if you just like enjoy the vibe over here on this channel, then subscribe and join the family, because I would love nothing more than to do this again, to sit in this good energy together again. So yes, I also do have a Ko-fi or Coffee, I don't know how it's pronounced. I do have that linked down below. If you feel called to make a small donation, you don't have to, obviously, but if you have the means to, and if you feel called to, then obviously I will be infinitely grateful, and I wish tenfold back at you if you do choose to make a donation. But if not, like, just you being here, your presence, like just you sitting here watching until the end of this video truly means more than I can express to you. And it's not just because I want you to watch my video. Obviously I do, but more than that, like, if you are still sitting here watching this, like, that means you are so committed to yourself. And I love that for you. And the fact that you're even here at the end of this video, to me, tells me that you are ready. Like, you are that committed to yourself that you know what you have to do now. It's just a matter of doing it. So you already deserve a gold star if you're at the end of this video. Like, good things are around the corner for you. Because this is going to be a long one. It's 53 minutes right now as I'm recording this. Anyways, thank you for being here. Again, like, comment, subscribe, post notifications, all the things, all the YouTuber things. It does help me, and I would love if you leave a comment or like this video or subscribe. Not only because it helps my channel, but also in helping my channel, you're pushing these types of messages out to more people. And I hope that, you know, this sparked some positivity within you and is helping to remove some layers of self-doubt potentially. So in supporting my channel, you're also pushing this type of content out to other people and getting more of this type of content on your timeline as well. And yeah, so anyway, thank you for being here. I'm gonna finish my stretching. Feels good, man. It feels good. So I'm so excited to continue this journey, and thank you for being here. And like, I could cry right now. Sending you so much love and gratitude, and sending you self-belief. I'm sending you self-belief, and you can do it. You can do it. I have no doubt. You just have to believe that you can. So with that being said, I'm gonna sign off. I'll see you in the next video. And I love you. Thank you for being here. Okay, until next time. Okay, bye.